My name is Brad Belk, and I'm here today with Charles Fox. We are talking about all of the musical composing work that he's done in present, past, and currently. So, the Killing Me Softly, I knew that it was a remake with the Fugees and how they came about doing it, but the original, how did the song come to life?
It was on an album that Roberta Flack heard when she was on an airplane.
Really?
And she was flying from Los Angeles to New York, and she had just done a concert with Quincy Jones. And Roberta's a fantastic musician, not only a singer. And she heard the song, she told me she fell in love with it immediately. And so she took this is the early 70s. People didn't go with their own music on the airlines. They kind of listened to whatever was a pre-program. So she heard the song, she kept listening, and she took a pencil and paper, and she not only wrote the words, but wrote the notes down. And then she knew she had to do the song, so she got to New York, and she called Quincy Jones. And she said, "Quincy, how do I meet Charles Fox?"
Wow.
So Quincy gave her my number. And then I was in the Paramount Pictures, and I was walking through the music library. And someone said, "Hey, there's a phone call for you." And she couldn't get me at home that time, so she called me at Paramount Pictures. And the voice on the other end of the line said, "Hi, this is Roberta Flack, and we haven't met, but I'm going to sing your songs." And that was pretty remarkable because she just won the Grammy Award for the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
And here I get it. And I never had a hit record before that. So to get a call from Roberta Flack was something she knows. I've told her. When Roberta was the one many years later who gave me, she presented me with the honor for the Songwriter Hall of Fame. And she made a nice thing about me and brought me up on the stage. And at the rehearsal in the afternoon, when she just rehearsed for the band, and then she and I were sitting alone in this big ballroom, and I said, "Roberta, how fortunate for me that you found this song." And Roberta's a spiritual person. She said, "No, the song found me." So we met in Quincy's office, actually, in A&M Records, and we had a lovely, talk with her. We talked about the record and all that. And then she went off on her own. She made the record on her own. I had nothing to do with it. And one day, I got a call, and I didn't know the record was released, frankly. And I didn't buy Billboard, and I didn't buy Record Roll Cashbox, because I was busy working. And I didn't expect to have any hit records. And my focus was on film at that time. Well, I did a lot of records too. And one day I got a call from someone at Columbia Pictures Publications in Florida asking me about the print rights for Killing Me Softly. Are they available? And I said, "Why do you know? Why do you ask?" He said, "Man, it's a big hit. Don't you know that?" I said, "I didn't know that."
Really?
Didn't know it. So I ran down to the local newsstand, and I bought Cashbox, Variety, Billboard, all those things. And sure enough, there it was. It was on the charts. I didn't even know the record was released.
Oh, wow.
So how's that for a surprise?
That's awesome.
And one of the nicest comments I'll always remember was one of the reviewers in one of the trade papers said, "Killing Me Softly is going to be as big as swimming pools in California."
Oh, wow. And you got to live it twice.
And then 20 years later, we got a call that the Fugees are going to record it. And lo and behold, now the Fugees are a rap group, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And their album that they put this on, The Score, was an incredible collection of songs that all contain something. But there was something about that song that they had to do. And actually, that was the one. Killing Me Softly was the one that got all of the airplay.
Yeah.
Of everyone on the record.
Yeah.
And they didn't even release a single at that time because they didn't want to be known as a single artist. They wanted to be known for the album, The Score. So they used the single to drive. They used the song to drive the album. And actually, in England, they took a chance and they released a single record just to see. And it sold 1 million copies in a week.
Oh, wow.
And then they withdrew it.
Really?
Again, for the same reason, because they wanted to create a whole impression with The Score, which they did. And they fantastic group. And
well, if anybody mentions the Fugees, Killing Me Softly is
But
the
people
song.
know that, yes, people know that that's their
That's
lead.
their,
That's
yeah.
the song they're known by, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had that same great experience. And waiting for the next guy up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, if you want to know the truth, I haven't counted for a long time, but I know we have more than 2,000 cover records of that
Really?
song. Yeah.
Wow, that's
In many, many languages, yeah.
wow, that's awesome.
Although, here's a curious thing, and it was a hit in almost every country, twice. The American version, the English version, Fuji's, Roberta Flack, and there were covers in every language. I think we had a couple hundred in Japan, Japanese alone.
Wow, that's
But,
great.
but it's the American English language version with Roberta and then the Fugees that have done so well.
Yeah, it's an amazing song.
Thank
It's
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
To me, I'm in the early stages of doing film, but to me, music is what editing, putting everything together. Music is what pulls everything tight, and the like different edit shots that you cut into. The music is what pulls. Have you worked on a lot of like horror films,
Horror
composing
films.
music?
You know,
I just say that because I was listening to Halloween. One of the songs came on when I was in the car earlier, and I was,
Yeah.
it's such a in Jaws and
oh, no one's ever asked me a question about horror films. I can think of one film that I worked on called Bug.
that's
And it was originally called the Hephaestus Plague. And he came out with a title called Bug. Quite a good director too, Jean Swark. I did the film only on the synthesizer, and this is in the '70s. Wasn't my favorite métier to work, you know, in that kind of, and I didn't get many offers to work in that kind of film. But I did, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to do I felt like I could do the whole score with electronic music, not representing strings and just normal instruments. And so that was a challenge to me, and it was fun to do.
just not even
There's the
horror
one
films.
film I never asked my wife to see.
Really?
She would
Too
like
scary.
Not even just horror films, but just music in general pulls your editing together. To me, for me, and makes. If you don't have the music, it doesn't make
yeah,
the
for
film.
direct- a lot of
every
people.
director that I know will tell you, when they're in the cutting room and they're editing, it's piece and piece and piece and piece. When they lay a piece of temp music even on it, and then eventually the score, it becomes a work.
Yes.
Everything gets brought together in the hands of a composer who knows what he's doing. But even some, very often, I'm sure you know that they find music to cover and it's a temp track. And then sometimes the composer is saddled with it, the director falls in love with some temp music, and it's not really what the composer wants to do. So it has presented challenges to composers over the years.
Oh yeah,
I'm not the first guy to say that.
yeah.
But somehow when music, when we sit down to spot a picture, sitting with a director, I usually go through my own notes. I spot the picture myself, and then casually over a meeting or a lunch or something with the director, I give him my thoughts about how I can help this picture, about how I see my role as a composer, which is, I think of music as a character in the film. It's one of the people on the screen.
For sure.
And so then it's a question of if we're in sync, and that he thinks that he or she, I've worked with wonderful directors, he or she thinks that we're in the same track, then we go to spotting room and we actually find the moments when it starts, when it stops, when it starts, when it stops. And then that gives me a direct connectivity to the film, Sometimes there's scenes you don't want to play the music because there's enough sound effects covering. And sometimes you want music obliterating everything so that you can lose the sound effects. Sometimes you lose the dialogue because the music has the power of the moment.
Yeah.
All those things can be determined on the dubbing stage, but for me the real work begins once I'm in sync with the director, that I know what my objectivity with the film is, what I'm trying to achieve in the film.
I see. I love all that. I think does it feel like work to you, or is it just fun?
I always say people are very lucky when they do what they do, what they love to do, because work is not work, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
However, saying that, I sometimes work 20 hours a day.
The deadlines are what? That's what. It's tough, but-
I love what I do.
Exactly.
I love. I always think how lucky I am. I get up in the morning and I have breakfast and I go sit at the piano.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm more here at my desk or there at my desk. I have desks all over.
Well,
Um,
you can tell you love what you do. You got a lot of awards for
Well,
creating good stuff, and
So that's a nice thing to happen after, and I'm always appreciative. The real reward, though, is in the pleasure of doing it.
yeah, exactly.
For me, it's the excitement of discovering music I didn't know the day before.
Hmm.
You know, and then when I get something, then developing that and working with that and creating something more, and then by the time I'm finished, I usually move on to something else. I don't have to sit around and think about that too much.
Yeah, that's all I got.